Hey guys, new video today, and this one is in the name of science. So I just recently traded into this 2019 Silverado, and it's a great truck. I like it for the most part. The seats are really uncomfortable. I don't like that. But in any case, I traded out of an F-150 that had a ton of ground clearance. And you know, these stock Silverados aren't really known for ground clearance, and this one is. I think I need to make some improvements. So for one thing, I think I'm going to end up taking these running boards off. I'll save that for another video. But what I really am curious about today is these little chin spoilers that they put underneath, you know, most trucks. Now my last truck was a trimmer edition actually, so I had loads and loads of ground clearance, and it was optimized for off-road. But so this little spoiler, which is about 3 inches, or chin I guess I would call it, is 9.5 inches off the ground. So if you are, you know, like here in Iowa, you pull up into in the winter, you pull up into a parking lot where snow's been pushed up. It likes to catch on that stuff. If you're off-road, any kind of a low, you know, if you go through any kind of a dip or anything, I mean, 9.5 inches is just like no ground clearance basically. So if I take off this chin, the main, you know, bottom of the bumper, that's about 12.5 inches. So that's a little bit more respectable. So my question is, if I remove this thing, is this actually going to make any difference in gas mileage? So I've had this thing for only about a week or so, and just kind of running around town and just kind of average stuff. I'm getting like, I probably average like 21 miles a gallon, which is pretty good really. But what I'm going to do today is a nice calm morning, which is kind of rare around here. Not a lot of wind. So I'm going to run down the road and make, I think it's probably going to be about an 80-mile round trip. I want to get a good baseline. I don't want to just do, you know, 20 miles and not really have any good evidence of what this does. So I'm going to run down the road and I'm going to check my miles per gallon. I'm just going to do it off the dash because I think if I do it for 2 trips in a row, that should be consistent enough to get me the information I need. And we're going to see. So I'm going to run down with it on. I'm going to come home. I'm going to pop it off. There's like a dozen. There's not much holding this thing on here. There's just basically like a dozen screws, so I should be able to take it off pretty easy. And then I'm gonna turn right around, and I'm gonna make that same road trip, and I'm gonna see what difference it makes in gas mileage. And then I'll report back and let you know in case you're curious. All right, guys, trip is zeroed out. Rolling out of the driveway. Let's go test this thing, see what it does. All right, so I'm back. And if you can see that, but I ended up going not quite as far as I originally planned, almost 54 miles. I decided that was good enough, but 20.1 miles per gallon as delivered factory with that chin on there. So let's pull that thing off and see if it makes any difference. This thing sits so low to the ground that I practically have to put it on practically have to put it on ramps just to get underneath this to take this chin off. It's ridiculous how low this is. Okay, there's a couple screws. Most of them just you can throw a socket on there and zip them off real easy. There's one on each end that actually comes down from the top. Those are a little harder. You got to put a box end wrench on those. And these are 7mm, by the way. So the only thing about doing this is now you've got this, you know, kind of unfinished looking edge down here, but I don't care. Nobody sees that anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the screws back in here so that they don't get lost and so that these little retainer clips stay in place. But good enough. We'll run it down the road and see what it does. Okay, so I just thought I'd mention, so I'm running down the interstate. I've got cruise set at 75 is what I'm running. And about, Probably about 10 miles or just under 10 miles of this trip is a combination of gravel roads and 60-mile-an-hour blacktop, and then the balance of it is, like I said, running 75 down the interstate. So just thought you might be curious. All right, guys, I am back, rolling in the driveway, and I can't believe it. I'm actually surprised. And I will show you. 20.3 miles per gallon. It actually went up. I'm just really surprised. I mean, obviously, they put that little chin wind dam thing down there for some reason. To me, all it does is look ugly, and I really didn't think that it would improve gas mileage. I think the truck looks a lot better without it, and I don't know, so like I said before, it's a nice calm day today. There's almost no wind. That hasn't changed from my first trip to the second trip. I did everything I could to drive as consistent as I could. So on the highway, I had the cruise set on 60. As soon as I hit the interstate, cruise was set on 75 the entire way. I didn't have to, there's no road construction, didn't get behind semis. They're pretty much up and down the whole way. Cruise was set. So I did everything I could to be as consistent as possible. The only thing that's different is the second trip, I had burned a couple gallons of gas. So maybe the truck weighed 15 or 20 pounds less, but that's not enough to, and actually not even that, maybe 15 pounds. That's not enough to make a difference in gas mileage. So that answers that for me. That thing is staying off for sure. No question. Glad I tried it. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm curious, leave me a comment down below. Are you as surprised as I am? Why on earth do they do things like this to these new vehicles to not even make any improvements? We'll see you in the next one.